We're back to Total Education with Neil on television and the Total Education Spotlight Show on radio. This is so wild, and I've already talked to Travis before, Burrows, and I'm so happy he came by.
Thanks for having me back.
I said when I was in LA, I wanted to connect with you, Travis, and I got you right here.
Yeah, I'm glad we made it.
So, Travis, you and I had that whole political conversation since we talked last. Really, things have heated up even more since we last talked.
It's true, yeah, that's right.
It's a very, and one of the conversation I have, then we'll get right to the directing, is for our audience, my belief politically is both sides are saying our economy is terrible and it's hurting entrepreneurs. Because guess what? The stock market's the highest it's been in a long time. Consumer confidence is horrible because they listen to the political noise. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. Yeah, on both sides, you're right. It's nobody has a very rosy outlook on everything.
It's absolutely terrible. It boggles my mind. But that's for another political show, and Travis and I, we're going to definitely have each other. But what I wanted to go into is the process of being a producer and director, how you learn to do it. Because I think it's a great point, and then how you took your first project and put it together, meaning the behind the scenes, because this is education. We're going to educate people on doing this. If they wanted to become a director, they wanted to be an executive producer, so you went to school for it. Where did you go?
I did. I went to a technical school called New York Film Academy. It's a year-long program for directors, and then I ended up graduating from UCLA. But I got to tell you, I mean, most of the learning you do on this job is on set. It's getting out there and it's learning things by doing them, and a lot of the times the hard way. But it's very rewarding as well.
And I think it definitely is rewarding, but you learn it the hard way. But it's amazing. And then I guess because the hours and hours of doing it, once you have everything together, you dotted the I's, crossed the T's, everyone set everything up, then here comes the problem. Now you have to take all this information, like today I have to take information, I do it, then Marcus does the TV. It's going to be a process. Not as long for me. A snap for me at radio, but that's why I have a face for radio. But for television, I would just go crazy. And that's the thing, when you have film and getting it together, it must be a process.
Yeah, I got to tell you, as fun and as easy as the making of it wound up being, the editing of it was a real bear. I mean, it was a real project. I mean, again, you come home, you sit down, you've got 150 hours of footage to go through to make a 75-minute documentary, and there's no real direction in the footage just as it sits by itself, telling you what the story ought to be and how you should tell that story and what order you should be putting all this stuff in. And how you want to inform people of the background of this stuff. Do you want to use text cards? Do you want to use narration? Do you want to use kind of old news clips, which is what we ended up doing. So yeah, it was very challenging.
How many
and it took
hours
a long
day
time.
did you put into this? Once you had all the information, you and your friend are just sitting and watching. And looking at. Are you like a real? Are there pet peeves you say? Oh, I saw this or or I didn't like specifically how they did this, and this just doesn't look good for film.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that because you're going to film school, you say to yourself, this looks perfect. Oh, this is just terrible. Marcus, my producer, knows that because once I guess I was being, I don't know which I was doing to try to figure out sound quality for radio, because this is not my mic. This is not what I do it. And so I'm like, this sounds awful. We can't do this. Let me try this. Let me try that. That's the same thing when you're looking at a bunch of film.
Yeah, I can tell you for me myself, when I'm sitting down editing something like this, I can get very, very nitpicky. I mean, you're right. The or the here, or a little noise here.
Doesn't matter in that way.
You're just going in. You're just taking out little slivers, frame here, frame there. Exactly. Yeah, and it can make you crazy. We basically sat down with the footage. We came up with a timeline that we liked, a way to tell the story that we liked. We took it to another set of editors. They work on it for a while. It comes back to us, and then we worked on it for months. I mean, it must have been 3 months of just sitting there, 4 hours a day, just burying yourself into a lot of sleepless nights, actually, just doing it all night. And I would spend 4 or 5 hours working on a segment, just getting it cut up just so, and then wind up not using it in the end.
Gosh.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was just thing after thing like that. We call it killing babies in the industry. You just make something you love, but it doesn't work in the end, so you got to get rid of it.
I just could imagine, and I would not want to be with Marcus for this, and I won't, because it would be really a frustrating thing that would not be fun for me. Marcus, have fun. I'm going to have all this radio ready to go out as soon as possible to the stations, TV by the time it goes on YouTube, and then also the other station, that'll take time because that's a lot of editing, taking the audio and different things. So that's the other thing is you're taking audio and then you're taking film and you have to make sure that you splice them together, right?
Yes.
You can't, in this kind of environment, you can't do that.
That's exactly right. There are some great new programs out there, I'll tell you, to sync audio and video like that. One of them is called Pluralize. I'm not paid by the company, but we would have been lost without them, so I got to put that name out there. It was a really great program.
So what would you say to yourself, now looking at this in the near future, what would you say to yourself after this was over? How tiring was it, and how much did you want to do the next project already?
You know what? It was extremely tiring. It was extremely rewarding though as well. We had another editor come in and just do the last little touches on it. When you start seeing the graphics go in and you color it just right and getting everything the way it's supposed to be, it was really rewarding. I can't say that I was dying to jump into the next documentary at the very least. It's not the only thing I do. I've done shorts before, and I really wanted to get back into kind of doing narrative stuff. So I was excited to go doing that, but I've still got another documentary too rolling around in the back of my mind.
I see. That's why we're going to be friends for a while. I really have the idea that we got to look at other ones and take the other side of the story and really put the truth in that as well. Because people would not agree with you with the Tea Party at all. If you guys watch this, you're not going to agree with it. Because I have a friend called Jason, the public school guy, and he hates the Tea Party. He calls them a bunch of Tea Party wackos. Pretty much wackadoodles. Yeah. And from when your experience for our listening audience, they learned that's not the case at all. That's a painting a picture of one group of people. There were a variety of people who are Tea Party, but the ones that are speaking out all the time, you heard about the conspiracy theories, right? Did the newest things out?
Oh, yeah.
They're hilarious. So what was the latest conspiracy one you heard after they did this? And you said, I can't believe these people are bringing this out.
I mean, I think the biggest misconception is the Koch brothers thing. Everybody was just kind of like called by the Koch brothers personally and sent out to go protest, right?
Honestly, seriously. Yeah. Koch brothers, I forget who I had on the program. The Koch brothers. And like, please.
You know what though? I will tell you, we interviewed Matt Taibbi for this, who is a liberal commentator, writes for Rolling Stone magazine. Okay. Definitely no fan of the Tea Party. Wrote some very scathing reviews of them and their practices. But even he had to admit that he didn't feel like it was a Koch brothers thing at all. He definitely felt like it was grassroots. He didn't agree with them. He didn't like the way that they did business.
Do you think the Koch brothers are running education?
No, I don't think Koch brothers are running education.
So why don't we do this? Let's do an education documentary.
Okay.
I'll be involved in it, and Marcus is like, man, he's setting up every deal with everyone in the world. I will do it. It would just be absolutely amazing.
It sounds great.
I mean, I don't know what projects we have to do and how we have to go about doing it, but we'll make sure that we really expose this for what it is, because charter schools for profit, people don't know about that. Did you talk about that at all at the Tea Party and the education platform?
We didn't really get into that so much. I mean, there was so much national politics going on about spending. I mean, that was really their major issue. I'm sure there's a diversity of opinions about things that aren't what the Tea Party is mainly about. I mean, you find people who believe in all sorts of things in the Tea Party. Right. But where they come together is on the fiscal issues, on the spending issues, and unfortunately, I think for them, they all very much don't like the president.
But the education is just so infuriating, because school vouchers and the other are big Tea Party components. And the problem is, people on the left do not want they want to attack it. And we want to expose it for what it is and take it firsthand, what's going well in charter schools and what's not. So I don't know how we can come up with funding. I will help you in that end. And I guess we're going to get a project together, education, and together, and we'll stay friends for sure.
That sounds like a lot of fun. It's a very important topic.
It definitely is. And where can our listeners find information and viewers on you?
Well, we've got our website, www.partycrashersdoc.com, partycrashers, DOC. Party Crashers is the name of the film, obviously, and it's available also on iTunes and Hulu Plus.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by. It was great, fantastic. And you're watching Total Education with Neil, and also the Total Education Network Spotlight Show. And we'll be back in just a moment.